Lindsay?
Arlene, can you hear me okay?
My ears don't have cancer.
Okay. How are you?
Personal best, Lindsay. You?
I'm all right. Thank you.
Now, how nice.
I have to say, I'm really surprised to hear from you.
Pony surprised or polio surprised?
Probably like pony with polio.
That bad, huh?
Well, now that I said it out loud, that was too far.
Listen, you have every right to despise me.
I don't really anymore. I mean, I really, really did for a while, but just like you despised me.
Don't presume to know how I felt about you.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I despised you.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I think that's why this is happening.
The Zoom call.
The ovarian cancer.
Oh my God. I don't think that's
Many studies show that holding on to anger or hatred, both of which I had toward you for years and years,
okay,
can first cause dis-ease and ultimately disease.
Yeah, I think that dis-ease quote is more of a gimmick. It's not really a word. It's like synchrodestiny.
I believe in synchrodestiny.
Oh, cool.
And I believe there's something to this theory, however hippy-dippy it might sound. Because carrying around all that negativity can't help but damage every aspect of one's being.
That makes sense.
What we resist persists.
Oh, our ego is not our amigo.
What?
Stupid one-liners they teach you at AA for 400, please, Alex.
Alex is dead. Of cancer.
Shit. Okay. I'm just saying that the recovering alcoholic who told me that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results was the same person who told me that success comes from leaping from one failure to the next with undiminished enthusiasm.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, some people just like aphorisms.
Well, it's not AA. I don't have a drinking problem.
Neither does my mom.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
I can't either. So the resisted persisting.
The Agape Spiritual Center. Do you remember The Secret?
Oh, Christ.
Oh, it's not that.
Not what?
Christ.
Isn't Christ implied in the last letter of the WASP acronym?
I resent the WASP acronym.
It's not like Jab.
Do people still call Japanese people Japs?
JAP stands for Jewish American Princess.
Really?
You really don't get out much, huh?
Well, it's hard with the feeding tube.
Oh my God.
Gotcha.
Arlene.
Anyway, agape.
Yes, it's love in Greek.
Very good. That's Sarah Lawrence education.
Vassar.
Same Ivy, different lesbians.
So agape?
Oh, I found it online. It's actually out there in LA, Culver City. Have you heard of that?
Sure, it's where Sony is.
I don't know what that means.
So you found Greek love in Culver City.
The concept is that God is inside us, not up there in the sky.
And definitely not some white dude who looks vaguely like Jared Leto.
Is he from Sony?
Never mind. So God is inside me.
Inside all of us. And it's not a person or even a trinity, as we've been led to believe.
I was not led to believe that.
It's a force, you know. We are created in the image and filled with the energy of God, by which I mean positive, pure life force. And we are filled with it once we choose to tap into it.
So you've got God on tap. I'm sorry.
Michelle would have made that joke.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
I do not. She was funny. She was the funniest person I knew.
Yeah. Hell of a writer, too.
I don't know about that.
What? How did you not love her memoir?
I was never allowed to see it.
Well, I have a copy. Future Conditional.
What the hell kind of title is that?
A prescient one? Future conditional is a verb tense. If you do this at some later time, then I will do that. So you have to learn it when you're conjugating a foreign language.
Okay.
But of course, her future was conditional. There's a big if clause that never paid off for her.
So she took her life because it didn't meet her conditions.
That is not at all what I said, except for the word condition, but it may still be true.
What?
She expressed pain in the most unique way, the funniest way. You just understood exactly who she was when she wrote.
I still don't know exactly who she was.
You want me to send you a copy?
Please.
Maybe Chloe can publish that instead of End of Winter.
End of Winter was terrible.
I know.
Not the writing.
Thank you.
It was terrible to read for me.
I wanted it to be. I wanted to torture you with it. I wanted to explain why my love for Michelle was so unique and so profoundly special and so joyous and then so devastating, so that you could love her as much as I did. And then once you really, really loved her, like you should have from the start, you would have to sit there and miss her and just live in that grief when it was too late to fix it.
Well, dear, you stuck the landing.
And now I see that if you believe that carrying hate and anger and grief around gave you cancer, then I would, in that scenario, be the murderer.
Did you just make this about you?
Oh, it's a tradition.
Jews?
Wow. I meant Grunmans.
I see.
So you don't blame me?
I blame you for sending me her things the way you did. Nobody needs to see their daughter's vibrator.
It was our vibrator.
You wanted to shock. Michelle did too. Like recalcitrant children. But now when I look back, I realize that you were almost children.
Yeah, and you were a grown-ass adult who wouldn't let me into my wife's funeral.
Partners.
Wife. We had a commitment ceremony. There were flowers and there was dancing. There were all my relatives, even the ones that I didn't like.
But still, in the eyes of God.
Of the God in whose image Michelle and I were made in Culver City.
Touche.
You're right, though. A lot of what I did was petty. I just needed an enemy.
Because it couldn't be Michelle.
Why would it be Michelle?
She's the one who left.
She didn't mean to.
You don't leave a note if you don't mean to.
I mean, she didn't mean not to be strong enough to push through her pain.
You needed to punish someone because the love of your life was gone. And I was there.
Also, you are an asshole. Sorry.
I needed to punish someone for the same reasons. And you too were an asshole.
It's fair.
It's not true what you said before, that I needed to love her as much as you did. I already loved her as much as you did. Differently, but just as much.
Separate but equal.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
It was because I loved her so much that I was so disappointed. She had so much potential. She was so funny. Like we said, so bright and so charming. She lit up a room when she walked in.
And she just ended up living in the village with a weird little lesbian. Oh, what a failure.
I knew how hard her life would be.
You think her life was hard? Really? Because she was a lesbian in New York City, the most deliciously progressive city on earth. It was like East Coast Armistead Maupin.
I don't know what that is.
Her career was taking off. She had someone she loved who loved her. I mean, her life was fucking awesome for someone who wasn't depressed and unmedicated.
What in God's name did she have to be depressed about?
Oh, I don't know, Arlene. Maybe because her parents were mortified by her existence, or that her kid sister had to call her from a friend's house because her mother was so afraid that she'd be tainted by her sister's degenerate lifestyle.
That's not what I said.
Well, that's how it felt to Michelle and to Chloe. And not that it matters in this conversation, but also to me.
I just hate that.
And Arlene, people who are bipolar don't need a reason to be depressed. It's chemical or biological science.
You know, being gay is biological.
Wow, that only took you 17 years.
15. I've spent the last 2 dying.
Well, but you said that wasn't my fault.
My grandmother killed herself.
I didn't know that.
She drank bleach. Took her a week to die. My mother was sad a lot. Maybe it was clinical depression.
We had a clinic back then.
Exactly.
Did Michelle know any of this?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Oh, you're saying your family would discuss this openly?
I'm saying my family, there'd be a yearly retelling of the story, after which we'd sit around the table comparing our own behaviors with the dead people so that we could track whether or not we were leaning toward the showy kind of depression at Thanksgiving.
I see now how making it about you is hereditary.
You get me, Arlene.
The book is really beautiful, Lindsay.
No, it's not. It's maudlin. And not because I was a bad writer, just because I was a young writer. I was essentially a child widow.
That's what I love about it. How comfortable you are with discussing pain. Like this. Living is finished. I will survive this long again, and then perhaps that long again. But living is finished. The next 50 years will find me vamping, marking time, waiting, not for new love, for the end. And then you.
What a fucking moron. Who wishes grief on herself? Who romanticizes solitude? I fucking hate that girl.
I kind of like her.
You know, there's a certain kind of privilege to stewing in your own sadness juice like a self-indulgent brisket.
What is a brisket exactly?
It's like beef, something. I don't cook and I rarely eat. So
Yeah. The chemo makes me vomit.
good story.
I finally reached my goal weight.
Mazel tov. Hey, Arlene.
Lindsay,
I'm really glad we're talking.
me too.
Would you please consider having Chloe publish Michelle's book instead of mine?
I think you should be published together. Are you familiar with gospel music?
Are you familiar with gospel music?
Well, at Agape, there's this huge Black choir. They're world renowned, actually. And they do these amazing gospel performances. They do this thing that I read is called call and response.
Oh, right. So one phrase is sung out by part of the choir, and then the other part sings an answer to it, right?
Your book and her book could be that. Her pain answered by your pain.
Fun.
Send me the book, Lindsay.
It's just a manuscript. She died before she had a chance to shop it. So, but I can scan the pages and email them to you. Is that okay?
Send them to Chloe. She'll print it out and I'll read it like a book.
What is the book?
You know what I mean.
Okay.
It's nice to have something to look forward to.
I know what you mean.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Nah.
Do you know how long you might
have?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. I'm in that sweet spot between late stage and hospice.
Oh, well, you could potentially milk that for what, like a decade?
Oh, yeah.
So that's good, I guess.
I'll let you know.
You mean when you're close?
What I think of the book.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's a better writer than I am.
Oh, maybe than you were. But your success.
No. Than I am now. She was then a better writer than I will ever be. So good job, Arlene. You created a genius.
I don't want a genius. I want my daughter.
Yeah, I want her too. I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry too. Can we talk again?
Yeah, I would love that.
I'm very tired now.
Right. Oh God. Yeah, of course. I'll let you go.
You'll call again.
Well, yeah, because we'll need to discuss the book.
Right.
Right. Hey, Arlene, cancer is not your fault either. I mean, yeah, it's biological.
Like being gay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'm kidding. Lighten up, kid.
Okay. Bye.